Big news today because Rapha have launched some new Pro Team shoes. Rapha are saying these are the first shoes they've designed specifically for road racing, and the eagle-eyed among you may have seen them on the feet of EF Education First riders at the Tour Down Under. Now, aside from the rather jazzy purple colour I've got in my hands, this may look like another high-end knitted cycling shoe, but in fact it's not knitted, it's woven, and that, according to Rapha, makes all the difference. Rapha have worked with a fabric technology company called Avery Dennison to develop what they're calling the Power Weave fabric. Now, as we've come to expect from any self-respecting product launch, Rapha claim that this fabric sets a new benchmark in cycling footwear. This is where it starts to get quite technical, so I'm going to refer to my notes. In a knit fabric, one continuous yarn is looped repeatedly to create a braided effect, whereas in a woven fabric, multiple yarns cross each other at right angles to form the grain. So what does that actually mean? Well, knit is extremely stretchy, and if you've ever worn a pair of knitted cycling shoes, you'll know you get that really soft, glove-like fit. Well, according to Rapha, this weave still has a little bit of stretch in it, and you still get that glove-like fit, but it's much stiffer and much stronger. And they may look like a pair of summer racing slippers, but apparently they're good for year-round use. Because it's a woven fabric, you've still got some of those gaps between the weave, between the fabric, so you get that natural air conditioning, so they shouldn't get too hot in the summer. Rapha say they've also applied a hydrophobic coating to the shoe, so a little bit of light rain should just wash off them, but to be honest, we'll see how these stand up to the British winter. Okay, so you might be a bit fed up of hearing about the woven upper now, so let's take a look at some of the other features of the Pro Team shoe. I'm 99% sure this is Rapha's first shoe with BOA dials, and for someone like me that's good news. In my opinion, BOA dials offer the best fit for a high-end racing shoe. Looking at the back of the shoe, you may notice this looks a bit like a Specialized S-Works 7. That's because it's got this wraparound heel cup, which according to Rapha creates a more sculpted fit and also reduces weight. And at the top of the heel it's very narrow, so you should get quite a secure fit on the back of your foot. As for the sole, it's got a full carbon fibre design as you'd expect from a top-end shoe, but once again there's some quite complex marketing jargon behind this, so I'm going to refer to my script again. According to Rapha, it has a trapezoidal cross-section design inspired by box girder bridges. I think the one thing we can say about this is that it's going to be extremely stiff. Now, a high-end shoe is no good if it's going to fall to pieces after a few rides, so it's got a plastic bumper on the top of the toe box and one on the heel as well. And we think the heel is also replaceable. There's a small screw in the inside of the shoe, so that's great news for such an expensive shoe. Finally, we're going to take a look inside the shoe. Now, I've taken the sole out, and as you can see, it's pink. It's not any old sole. It also has the phrase, turn the dial, on the middle. So every time I put the shoes on, I'm going to ratchet up those BOA dials before I sprint to victory. Now, of course, I jest, that's quite common with Rapha clothing. It's always dotted with little phrases and slogans. And personally, in a world of very serious, expensive cycling gear, I kind of like it. Just like the rest of the shoe, Rapha claims the insole has some rather interesting features, and it actually has a really nice, soft, velvety top to it, which Rapha says is antibacterial. And then looking at the back of the sole, it's got these adjustable Velcro arch supports, and the shoes are supplied with 3 of those. You get a neutral support, a high support, and a medium support. I'm sure if you've watched this far, you have 2 burning questions. How much do these shoes weigh, and how much do they cost? Now, Rapha claims a size 42 shoe weighs 220 grams. This is a 43, so we're going to put it on the BikeRadar scales of justice. 269 grams. It's fair to say that's quite a big jump in weight for going up just one size. Where that weight comes from, I'm not sure. And finally, the price. Now, these are Rapha shoes. They're bound to be very expensive. And if you're in the UK, they're £260. If you're in the US, they're $355. Of course, that is a lot of money to spend on cycling shoes, but it's about in line with the top end of the market from other brands. I think this purple colour looks pretty cool, but if that's a bit too much for you, a bit too jazzy, then there's also a light grey option and of course a very sleek, Rapha-esque black colour. So let us know what you think in the comments below, and of course don't forget to like and subscribe and click that little bell icon so every time we upload a video you get a notification. As this is my first video for BikeRadar, there's one thing left for me to do, and that's to say goodbye.